Yo, what's going on, everybody? We are back. What did we do during our little break? We went and shot some stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we did that.
I got some matches in, so
Oh, you got some matches in. We are joined now by an awesome guest that you guys might remember from the channel, Deerambo. How's it going, man? We haven't talked in a long time, probably since like before the summer, or when the summer was really kicking off. First off, how are you doing? Second of all,
doing well.
good to have you here.
Well. Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited for your Afterdark Fest. Glad to see you guys getting together and stuff. That's nice to see. And I've been doing well, man. Like I told you in our little chats, I've been focusing more on Genesis League than I have Splinterlands. Just been watching Splinterlands from the sideline. Bit excited about Yabbit Matt to take over the helm and stuff and see where it goes from here. Because that's really me. I really haven't been putting money into it, and I probably won't get excited to again until I see some changes in gameplay. Because that was our whole conversation the last time, is like gameplay and what we can see improvements in. So that's what I'm waiting for.
We talked so many different ideas about new game modes that could be added in. Obviously, that's probably not happening. We did talk a lot about tournaments, and one of the things that I'm really excited about, we've been talking about, is how live tournaments will become fun with Rebellion. So have you given any thought to that, and like how, is that something that you come back into the game for?
Of course, yeah. I was always into tournaments. I pushed you to do some on the side, and that is definitely something that would get me back into the game, back on an everyday level, is tournament restructuring and just doing something with that. I always thought that they could have done an esports scene just off those tournaments if they structured it right. To have a winner, have a first like third place winner come out every month or something and give them a title or something. So yeah, I always thought just in programming and structuring their tournament scene, they could have had some type of esports scene as well. So I'm excited for that. If they can restructure that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, well, one of the ways that I think it could be done is if we get some buy-in from the DAO potentially. All right, so this is kind of why I'm excited a little bit for Clayboyne. If he does get the role, where it'd be easier to go to a single point of contact and maybe enact some fun stuff with or through the DAO, I should say, because the team seems to have a lot on their plate. Like I'll be honest, I would prefer, instead of them focusing on like tournaments and stuff, I would prefer for them to like just get land 2.0 out more quickly, or to get Soul Keep out, just because people have been waiting for that.
Yeah, because and if you ask me what are my frustrations, that's it, right? None of these are getting rolled out, so just roll something out for me, but at this point. So yeah, that's where my frustration is at. Let's focus some dev work at rolling out stuff, and then maybe rework the devs into a group to focus on gameplay or tournament structure down the road or something like that. That would excite me. That would definitely excite me.
Definitely. All right, well, let's just say hi to the chat. We got DJ here. Yeah, DJ, we're streaming again, and hopefully we'll be streaming, I don't know, the rest of the weekend and some random times. We'll schedule some stuff out. Mystic Force, good to see you again. Horace, they should have tournaments for people who own cards, not rent or delegated. That could be interesting. I mean,
yeah, like a certain type of tournament.
Something specific for cards like that need to be in your account. I wouldn't be opposed to that, because it gives it kind of rewards the best way to interact with the system is to actually own the assets. But we'll see how it goes.
I will say though,
we had it with card power. Something similar would be like card power, but like locked card power, right? Like you have to lock it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean the rental market though is still an ecosystem, or a part of the ecosystem too. So there is players that rent their whole deck and play all the tournaments with that full rented deck, and look at the ROI for how much they're renting versus how they can play market and how it worked. So I know now it's kind of crashed, and so rental prices are not good, especially for Chaos Legion. But it's tough to debate whether you have investors or people that own their cards versus people that want to be able to rent their cards and get a return for what they bought.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to get rid of that because it's still a big part of the economy. But if you added extra tournaments on top, just for people who owned, that can make it interesting.
Yeah.
Well, let's switch things up. We spent the entire morning talking about Splinterlands. You've been spending some time in hours. I know you said you did. There wasn't too much there outside of a little bit of announcement from Aggie. But we can either start there or just wherever you want in terms of like why is GLS taking your attention outside of the fact that the GLX token just literally doubled
Yeah.
in price. I don't know why, because I'm in this now right now.
What is going on?
But GLX is
Right.
now half a penny instead of a quarter of a penny. So I wonder who.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I'm interested in Genesis League is because it's new gameplay, right? Off the bat, I'm just interested in the gameplay, and it's something new other than Splinterlands that I can put my time into. Recently, though, there is, through office hours, we're finding out more details about game launch and all this stuff. I would say based on what they're saying in office hours, within the next 3 months, you'll see some changes, but within the next 6 months is when you'll see like the final launch of this first season, which is almost a complete loss. If you do the math, like they said, this first set will only see maybe about 3 months of ranked rewards, which isn't the best, right? So if you're coming into the game right now, are you going to buy that set? Do you wait for the new set? Like, there's all these kinds of questions for new investors to like kind of weigh and all this stuff.
If I understand correctly, though, the full season of what they were going to pay out for the 2023 season, they're going to give out those rewards over the 3 months, though.
That's a possibility. Yeah, it's a possibility. So, I don't think anything's set in stone, but it's a possibility.
Yeah. Well, that was my understanding, in a way to help kind of give value back to people who bought the cards and have been holding on to the cards. I think that would make the most sense. So I hope they don't deviate away from that, or if they do, they're at least mindful of that.
Yeah, and I think that would be successful. I think most people that bought it early and sat on their cards, they would accept that in some fashion. It'd be okay to get, the bonus, the multiplier on your rewards.
Yeah.
So now, is there, I'm just not as familiar with I haven't kept up with what's going on with it, but so when the next set comes out, is there a play mode? Are you able to play both sets of cards, or is it just the current season's cards that you're playing?
It will be similar to Splinterlands. I think it's going to be a Legacy League and the Modern League, something along those lines. So yeah, your cards will still have value, but again, it's going to be in a separate league.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I don't think that should discourage anybody from buying now. It's just, when the Modern flips over, and I would assume Modern is probably just going to be the current season. So it's always getting people to buy the newest and greatest. But I don't know. At the end of the day, those cards are expensive. If you need 400 BCX to max it out, and they still haven't lowered that minimum to, 25 cents? Like or below 25 cents. That's really tough.
Yeah. So that is something they said will definitely change. They will allow you to list it for less coming soon. Mm-hmm. But that's something I'm hoping for. Now that Haggie's over here, hopefully he gives the first set some bonuses like he did the alpha cards.
Yeah.
Maybe the combining number drops, because they haven't finalized that combining number as well. They've put out numbers, but from what I understand, nothing is finalized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for something like that, just to give that first set some extra bonus. I know it got the staking rewards and all that stuff, but that alpha set that alpha set got hookups for years to come, in my opinion.
It's still getting hookups.
Yeah.
It's still getting hookups. Crazy.
So if this first set has benefits like that does, then it is worth the buy still. And it's probably right now the best to go just go and buy packs on Hive Engine. You know what I mean? They're like about $1 or something.
Wow, they dropped that much? Okay.
Well, oh yeah, they were the lowest. They were about 85 cents there for a while.
Holy crap. Okay. Well, that's definitely interesting.
But as far as why the token has doubled this week, it's build up. Within this next month, you'll see probably, I would say, some form of the game being launched. I don't know if it's going to be ranked or something.
Yeah.
But
other
facets will be introduced as well, like the extra NFTs for boosts and nerfs and stuff. So I think that's what people are planning around, is that sometime soon it will be launched. And if anything, it's just the news of staking requirements, right? Each team in the very top tier league needs that 250,000. So you can have 2 teams per account. That's 500,000 if you want to use a max. Today they said you are going to be able to buy extra slots of teams. So let's say you have 5, you're at 1.25 million for that account.
True.
So we'll see how that goes.
Well, not only that, the SPS airdrop rewards ended earlier this week. I think the last one was on October 24th. So what is it? Today is 27th. Yeah. So It's been a couple of days now. We're not going to get that sell pressure. And then there's also going to be, sorry?
Faucet did close. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Faucet did close. And then the other faucet is the staking rewards. And that ends in like 2 weeks or about 2 weeks.
something like that. Yeah.
So at that point, the only rewards that'll be coming in will be the LP or sorry, not LP. The
Steak Dulux.
no, because that's ending. It's just the
Those
node.
packs.
No, yeah, it's just the node licenses.
Nodes.
That'll be
just
given
be
out.
nodes, and
And I
then
think
ranked play.
that's 100 million over
when that
65
releases.
months, so it's significantly less. It's like one fifth. Like if I did the math correctly, we're going to go from like 650,000 GLX that was getting given out per day to like 50,000.
Yeah.
So there'll still be sell pressure because I'm sure all of the people who bought node licenses are going to be trying to recoup whatever cost, but the sell pressure is going to be much less. And you combine that with the fact that the game is hopefully set for release. We're getting staking requirements and all that. Could make for an interesting time. I mean, hell, we jumped 100% today. GLX did a 2x from 2.
Yeah,
2.
and if you're
5
looking,
to-
and if you're just looking at the general crypto market, it's probably the lowest it'll be, right? Like we're hoping not to see a big comeback to like the 20,000.
You know what?
You know what I mean?
I've burned myself too many times saying that, so I
Not
can't say that
financial
anymore.
So yeah, so that's
Guys,
I
this is the
think
best time to
thing,
buy into Splitterlands. Yeah, okay. Come back in
no,
3
the other
months.
thing at play is just that the crypto market's booming. I think people are,
Yeah.
they're trying to get their best money off these low tokens.
That being said, I do agree with you. I'm really like gaming aside, Splinterlands, GLS aside. I'm really excited about where the crypto market is at right now, or specifically Bitcoin. Like the narrative around Bitcoin is super hot heading into 2024. Then the halving. That's not to say that it's not still going to be choppy, but if the ETF comes in 2023, it'll be crazy. If it doesn't, I think the hype will lead into the ETF launching sometime in 2024 before the halving, and we could be in for a fun ride over the next 18 months.
We've had that jump from 27 to now 33 or 34.
Yeah,
where it got to. So,
I mean, it hit 35 for a little bit too.
Yeah.
All right, let's hop into the chat real quick. Dwayne is asking you if we're roommates now, just for the weekend.
Yeah,
It's good to see you here, Dwayne. All right, so iHorse, I've been playing GLX even though I'm salty. It's playable, but yet to win a game. Dude, if you play against the computer, it's really tough. The practice mode, I could never win. But what I'm excited about is kind of the esports potential there, and maybe we can dig into that a little bit, Deerambo. Like being able to set up tournaments and play different games. Are you doing that right now?
So the only thing we're doing right now is because no one's playing, we can just get into queue and we're almost guaranteed we'll play against whoever we're queue. You know what I mean? So we're just holding tournaments there on the side just to test some stuff and I'm doing it just because it's something that I can put my mind to, right, and test these new features and stuff. So we're just doing basic tournaments. If anyone in chat is interested, drop into that Discord. They're giving away prizes like golden foil coaches and
what? All right.
Yeah, not to brag, but I won the last cup. I took second in the league. This week I'm first in league, so I should win.
It's okay.
But yeah, it's fun, man. Yeah, no, it's fun. I've been enjoying it, and it's if you're interested in it and you're gonna follow through with it, it's something I think you should jump in now and start to learn the game mechanics of it at least. You know what I mean? Because within the next couple of months you'll probably see it roll out from what I hear. You know what I mean? And you want to be there if you're going to be part of it. And I am. I own a node. I own some packs and cards.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm having a great time with it. There's just a community ranting in the Discord though. It's nothing big,
Same thing's happening on the Splinterland side. All right, so iHorse is saying, I'm like Wall Street, don't watch my words, watch my pocketbook. All right. Dwayne is my inspiration. I want a story like his, but my own. Dwayne is my inspiration too. Time and attention, guys. Where are you putting your time and attention? After Sunfest, where is this at? We are in Atlanta this weekend, visiting Darkest Night. And hopefully we'll have more folks coming in tonight and tomorrow. So we'll try to stream as much as possible. No more salt. Let Bitcoin lead the way. Indeed. Yeah, Hive Engine is down, it seems, because I've been trying to buy or trade for some DEC and get some packs for these tournaments to set up. But
I think Hive Engine and Tribal Decks are down today. A couple nodes are off.
The same thing, which kind of makes me nervous about keeping lots of capital on like the liquidity pools there, just because like if it goes down and you don't have access to it, that kind of sucks.
So
but
just a random topic, shower thought, since it came up here. All this money spending for the DAO and this and that. Has anyone thought about like, should we invest in better marketing Hive? Should we like throw some money at Hive and boost, is that something that Splinterland should worry about or like be interested in? Or
that's a good question. I would say no immediately off the bat. I feel like if anything, we're doing Hive a service
Well, yeah,
So-
because this last one, they came out. They're like, oh, there's chains offering us to move chains, and they'll buy. Like, is that money? Is that income towards the DAO in the game, or like?
I think they would have given the company money to move chains.
So, and if we're not going to move, should we? Does it fall upon like the largest game on the blockchain to put money onto like vamping up the UI on Hive and stuff?
I would say the opposite. Like, one of the things that Matt said he was going to do, because he's going out and seeking funding, right? So he said that nothing's off the table. He's going to go and try and get VC, funding, but he also wants to go talk to the Hive DAO. And so I think the Hive DAO should be very receptive to making sure Splinterlands not just survives, but stays on the Hive blockchain. Because if it leaves, is there another game that's going to keep people here? And here's the thing. I don't think it's going to leave, because I think it's a ton of work. And I think, let me just put it this way. It's a ton of work. And if the game is not successful, I think the team would probably just shut the doors rather than try to move it over to another chain. But it all depends where the money's coming from. Maybe if they got a ton of money from like Solana, well, no, not Solana, but maybe like Matic or something, that could be interesting.
Yeah. That was a shower thought I had recently listening to the conversations. You know what I mean?
I wonder if they would ever do like a parallel game, like where you're not really not parallel the game, but like actually run the game on two separate. Like if they were thinking about switching over, they could actually develop one on a separate chain and just have them communicate for a while, and then if they ever had to, they could then fork it off. But they could basically run it on both chains, but have it communicate with each other.
That could be interesting. I mean,
you could play your battle on Polygon. You could play your battle on Hive,
and it would all go to the same place.
But it would, in the server at least, it would kind of work the same. But
see, I'm not a developer. Like, that seems brilliant in theory, but I don't know how difficult that would be to run. Like, interact with it based on whatever chain you want. I mean, I know it's not impossible, because you see other games that are able to bridge out to other chains, but that seems like it'd be a lot of dev work that the team isn't necessarily focused on now.
That's the bad thing, is we wouldn't see anything. Like, if they wanted to move to that, we wouldn't see anything for quite a while. Yeah, with their current priorities.
Very true. Let's see here. So iHorse bought a lot of packs of GLS, opened them early, got a lot of gold foils. Well done.
I missed out on that, opening up for the gold foils. Did you open some packs during that for the gold foils, Deerambo?
Yeah, I did. I can't remember how many packs I bought. I think I put like 250, so maybe just 50 packs. Mm-hmm. So I just bought 50 packs and opened it at the very beginning, because that was your best chances. I think it was like 15% to get a gold card at that time. Yeah. And they lower. Yeah, that was a little cool thing they did for the packs. You know what I mean? Having that decrease the longer you sat on them. So yeah, I did that right away. Because again, I wanted to play with them right away, build teams and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Similar or related, I think, to the question that you had asked, or the shower thought is, can Hive handle the inflows of thousands or more new players? Is what iHorse is asking. Here's the thing. I know a decent amount about Hive, but I haven't I know that the blocks get delayed all the time, but I don't know if that's because of the amount of transactions that are happening, or if that's something that is completely unrelated to it. So if we were to 10x the amount of players, would we get more or higher frequency of the blocks being delayed? Are you familiar with that at all?
I'm not familiar with what Splinterlands themselves is running for servers. Because I mean, you got to think that at the height of the bull run, we were running probably 10 times the amount of games.
Yeah, true.
So we kind of already saw what a 10x difference, and I don't think there was big slowdowns at that time. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. My experience during the last bull run on Hive, it wasn't that bad. It functioned, I think. I don't think it shut down. The biggest thing was just liquidities, right? You'd see big jumps here and there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of liquidity, DJ's got a good point here that I've been talking a lot about on the channel recently, but I wish we were putting more money into BNB and ETH pools to make it easy for bigger fish to bring money into the game. Yeah, liquidity it's a tricky one, because we're giving out the SPS token and we want that to go up. But when you give that out as a reward token for literally everything, including the LP rewards, then you're going to get a ton of sell pressure on that. So
I know there's some people that are saying that the DAO should be the one that's kind of putting more liquidity into those. I don't know. I think some people were even saying that the DAO should completely be all of the LPs and not really have people that are putting into that.
Here's the thing: as radical of an idea as that is, I wouldn't be opposed to it, because then we could take all of the SPS that was reserved for LPs over the 65 months and just save that for the future, right? So we're having less sell pressure. The DAO doesn't have that much liquidity. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Well, granted, if we look at all the different things, we'd be able to put a decent amount, but I don't think it would be enough. So I understand them wanting to like provide incentives, but at the same time, like they're trying to be like this whole DeFi project, which I think actually, sorry to harp on this one more time, but like with the upcoming Land Point or 2.0 offering all these different kinds of liquidity options for players, maybe that would be a good time to transition them away from like people who like the DeFi aspect, get them away from SPS, BNB and ETH and all that, and bring it all in game. Although, like I said earlier, I don't really trust Hive. I would keep a majority of what I have off chain or in liquidity pools off chain. So I guess it just depends. All right, let's see here. So Alex is asking, what does a reroll and Golem Overlord do if I add it to my module? I have no idea.
So I ran it. Well, I just did one of these two. I did the reroll for the stats. And my result on the one module I had was that my module went poof. It disappeared. So there's a 10% chance that your module can get destroyed. Do you know what the modules are?
I haven't messed with any of the new stuff there. I just go in and claim my stuff, which I haven't even done while I've been here.
Yeah. So in Golem, like they were selling, I think it's Yixen's trinkets or something like that, which was
NFTs, right?
Where you can get the NFTs. And one of those was a module that gives you a stat boost or like some kind of special stat. And then you had these other things that you could use to try to like add a stat onto it. You had like a 50% chance to add a stat. And then you had another one where you could re-roll the module. And the re-roll module had like a certain percentage chance to be effective, a certain percentage chance to do nothing, and then a certain percentage chance to actually destroy your module. And yeah, when I tried it, mine got destroyed. So I hit that bad luck on that one.
Yikes. All right. Well, I'll have to do a deep dive into Golem Overlord after this weekend because I'm so far behind.
Yeah, you guys doing any other Hive games real quick? You guys doing any other Hive games? Terracore, Mutera, anything like that?
Whenever I can remember Terracore, I do try and get in there. Whenever I can remember Rising Star, I'll get in there, but I haven't been doing that as much. Those are like the main idle clickers.
You're in Decrops, right?
Oh, I do play Decrops, yeah. But there's the Holozing thing that's out there, and then
what is that? That looks so interesting, and I haven't had time to look at it.
Yeah, all I know is that it's created or co-created by the guy Asgarth who does the dev work for Peak Monsters, and I know that guy's a beast when it comes to coding because he's always adding new features and things like that. So it's the same thing where like I'm bullish on Golem Overlord, or I just want to be a part of it because I'm bullish on Yixen's ability to deliver cool stuff in a quick manner. I probably feel the same way about this Holozing thing, and right now they're doing an airdrop where you could just delegate HP over to them and you get airdrop some of the tokens. So there's a website. I don't think there's a game yet, but there's a white paper out that I just haven't had a chance to read through.
Yeah, the white paper is pretty big. So, but I mean the website looks clean. Like I know it's probably you can't really trust a project on how nice their website is, but like it looks really good, and they have a pretty good sized dev team. So,
they do.
Yeah. My biggest bullish project is still Woo. If you guys aren't with Woo, I love Woo. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on there? Because I do have a good amount of Woo token. Here you can see here what the website is, but yeah, it looks clean. I like it a lot.
Yeah, this project looks clean.
What's going on with Woo right now?
Bookerman just ran into some setbacks. Yeah, with devs. So yeah, it should have been rolled out. He wanted some gameplay out already, but that had to be pushed back. But he said hopefully this year. So it's around the corner. As of right now, though, you can build your franchise. Like you can spend some Woo to upgrade some certain stuff, like your franchise, your teams, and then your land. If you want to do land in Woo, you can go buy a piece of land and upgrade it. And hopefully the game will be out sooner than later.
Yeah,
But the
I
price
remember.
on the token and everything is just, I think that's my biggest, like, I think I could see Woo doing some numbers.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
I don't even
just
know what the
because
price is
it's a
right
cool
now.
gameplay.
Mhm.
Just Booker Man's cool. The whole idea, the tokenomics is similar to Splinterlands, and
Yeah.
the whole 3 billion and stuff. And yeah, but I could see that one doing some numbers.
It does get me excited for another potential bull run, because if people come in to Splinterlands, for example, in the same way that like everybody discovered Axie and saw the Axie kind of blow up a couple years ago, and then that just like filtered its way to all these other games. Whether it's Splinterlands or not, if people are coming into Hive and they're bringing money into Hive, all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, fantasy trading card game isn't for me. But man, I love wrestling, right? Or I love soccer, or football for people in other parts of the world. I love the MLS. Seeing a lot of these games start to mature at the right time could make it very interesting over the next 18 months, I would say.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, like big time. Like the players that like that gameplay with big time, they're getting exposure to crypto type games. So it kind of just leads more people into the ecosystem of whichever game they want, whether they go and try Axie out, or maybe then those people also see Splinterlands and give that a shot with now that they've gotten into crypto.
Yeah.
And from like your perspective, Virus, like, is it hard to go and build on a chain like Polygon or Ethereum? And compared it to Hive, is it easy to build on Hive, or it's like the standard procedure type thing? Or
yeah, I have no experience trying it.
No, just wondering.
I've thought about it with Hive, like looking at it, looking at how it would be to develop like that. And I think Axler Twinblade, he's been doing some stuff with his website with Hive and kind of figuring it out. And so it took a little bit of learning for him, but I'm not familiar enough to say for the other chains what the development's like. But it seems like it's fairly easy with Hive.
Right. Well, it seems like it, even from my perspective, it seems easy. And that's where it comes back to like, who does it fall upon to like push to promote Hive,
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that probably Hive itself, like the Hive DAO, could be looking at that. But some of the crypto influencers I've been listening to, there's a narrative going around now about Web3 social media, and I think we're seeing part of that. Not to get political, but like with a lot of the different conflicts that are happening now, and censorship has been like a rising topic. I think people are starting to see the value of. I don't know. There's polarizing figures here, but like people are starting to see like the value of like Elon Musk coming and saying like, yeah, I'm all about free speech, right? But at the end of the day, Twitter is a Web2 company, and if Elon Musk doesn't like you, he could still shut you off. But you start getting to like Web3 solutions, and no censorship or stuff like that, I think could become really important. So if the social media, Web3 social media narrative starts to take off, that's something that I think Hive has done a very good job of, right? With the whole blogging platform that they have. And then for anybody who's using Leo, or it's now I think they rebranded to like Leo Finance.
Mm-hmm.
They have this kind of threads, or it's like meta threads or Twitter type of thing that they're doing, where you can go in and earn crypto just by interacting and tweeting, essentially. I think they call it threading. So I've done that. I mean, it's a cool little community there that seems to be growing. And so the interesting thing is, maybe it's not gaming, maybe it's not even Splinterlands that becomes like the go-to thing, or the thing that blows up in the next bull run. Like, what if people just start going out and searching for areas in which they can post stuff on social media, Web3 social platform, not worry about censorship, but then also earn a little money, right? Like, I'll post stuff on Leo, for example, on the Leo Threads thing. And I was trying to add value over the summer and do a lot of like, oh, here's some Bitcoin analysis and things like that. And I mean, people would like give it 50 cents, right, worth of rewards. And again, that's just me posting something randomly there, right? Like, I'm not earning that much on X or Twitter. I'm not earning that for posting on Instagram or anything. So it's like, oh yeah, it's fun to go like interact with this community. There's a lot of people that are providing value and supporting valuable topics and content. So I can see that really starting to take off if this narrative of censorship and Web3 really starts to push forward.
I was watching a little bit of the last Hive Fest that they were streaming. I caught a little bit of it, not a whole lot, but it seemed like they were trying to integrate Hive and the social aspects into shopping. So you could have like a product that would normally go and rate, but then it would be a Hive post of like, here's my rating, here's how it was, like here's the pictures that were, for that product. So they were kind of doing like Hive integration into shopping and things like that too. So Hive kind of goes, it's got a lot of different uses that are, far beyond what Spoilerlands does, but it seems like, the biggest, at least what we know in our circle is that it seems like Spoilerland's is the biggest thing, but I don't know that it's I think their focus is trying to grow that social aspect and possibly the shopping aspect and things like that too, and kind of become like the social chain.
Yeah, I'll say this for people who are just involved with Splinterlands. I was shocked because I did take the time to like go and learn more about Hive and all the different things, and I started blogging regularly. Hive is so much bigger than I think people realize, because Splinterlands, yes, it's still like a big fish in a small pond relatively with Hive, but there's a ton of people, thousands of people probably, of users on Hive that don't play Splinterlands. Right. So, but they're there because there's a cool like photography niche, for the blogging side. There's people who are into sports. There's people who are into like cooking and recipes, like all of these different things, or even just like activity and fitness. All these different like categories of blogging have a bunch of people that are just involved and part of those like sub communities. And so I was surprised to see just how big Hive was, because I kept talking to a bunch of people and they're like, oh yeah, I've heard of Splinterlands. I'm like, wait, you're on Hive and you've only just heard of Splinterlands? Like, so that just says to me that there's a lot of potential in a good way for Hive to really take that next step if kind of like the blogging social media narrative takes off next time around. So
yeah, no, I agree, because you haven't used any of that real quick. You haven't used any of those apps, eSensi or like 3Speak or anything like that, ActiveFit.
I've used a couple of them. I've started using a couple of them. So 3Speak is like the YouTube or like Web3 YouTube. So I've posted community. If you get like your 5,000 or 10,000 steps a day, you can just go and essentially like blog that or log it, and then you get rewards, which is kind of cool just for being part of that community. eSensi, I'm not familiar with. Can you like give us a little bit of eSensi? Sorry, I've heard of it, but I've never.
That was just your like trips. Just blog your trips, your vacations and stuff.
Okay.
Specifically for that.
There's a lot of travel related stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of travel stuff.
Cool. So yeah, for anybody who's just looking at Splinterlands or just looking at GLS, I would say it's worth going out and like checking more around Hive, which, I don't know what that says about Hive, because a lot of people will then go start blogging, for example, like me, but I'll take that Hive and then sell it for like Splinterlands assets, right? So Hive is constantly facing that downward pressure. But at the end of the day, I'm not too worried about Hive because I just have enough HP staked, and then I use that to interact with all the different apps that are on Hive, which is probably what they want.
But like that Holozing thing, I'm kind of wishing I had more Hive, so I could go and try to get those airdrops. So
yeah, could be good. All right, so let's see here. iHorse is saying Soulkeep in 2024, testing for a year. Yeah, most likely. I have not heard any kind of confidence from Matt in terms of like getting it out this year. I think he said maybe, but that doesn't fill me with confidence. So I would, and again, I would much rather have land first. If they've promised Rebellion on December 5th, they really need to hit Rebellion on December 5th. Otherwise, that's going to be the big test. If they delay Rebellion, I think all the people who were like, Matt's going to be different, if they miss that deadline, the salt is going to be like,
that's too bad.
It's going to put people's hypertension up to
a
new level, because it's going to be like, oh, it's the same old. It doesn't matter who's in the CEO chair. It's just the same old thing. Sell us something, and then it gets delayed. So they literally cannot be a day late on that, in my opinion. All right, Brandon, good to see you here. Loving the conference style of streams throughout the day. Regarding excitement of Hive projects during Bull Run, we need a public-facing landing page for Hive. Yeah, see, that's something that the Hive DAO should like fund. Just something simple, but it shows you all the stuff that you can do. And then you're agreeing with DJ on the lack of liquidity that we have here. But here's a quick thing for like the liquidity side. The flywheel solves a lot of this, right? If land is good, Rebellion is good, and we start burning a ton of DEC, start burning a ton of SPS, and the value of SPS goes up, the APRs on those pools go up, which means people will then like, life spiral the value of SPS up, because they'll buy more SPS to put in the pools in order to take advantage of that APR. And then we'll reach a whole new equilibrium. Right now, there's just too much SPS out there. So we need to start burning some of it.
Trying to think how that works. Isn't that the opposite of what you do? If DEC is at PEG, are you saying SPS and other liquidity pools besides the DEC SPS one?
Yeah, SPS and other liquidity pools. So
because what happens when DEC is at PEG and the only one going up that is going to go up is SPS? You wouldn't want your SPS in that pool because...
Oh, you wouldn't want your SPS in that pool because then you start to, impermanent loss. But, I'm not sure. Maybe other people interact with it differently. Wait, what's he doing? Oh, I think Dark Knight just sent me a couple of battles on Discord. I don't know. Maybe we'll watch them. But like when I put capital into pools, I'm not as worried about impermanent loss because I'm always looking at those from like a USD value. It's just like so for example, like the ETH SPS pool, I put in like X amount, but I'm looking at it in USD value. So I don't care if one goes up and the other stays, or the other goes up and this one stays. It's just when I decide to pull out of the pool and convert that back from a USD perspective, if that number's higher rather than lower, I'd be happy. But I'm approaching that probably differently than many people. So, all right, DJ saying, yeah, too much slippage right now. Dice is asking, how's Atlanta? What do you think?
It's hot.
Well, it's not for you coming from the Midwest.
From Michigan. I'm supposed to be cold and freezing right now. So, I mean,
I am loving it. It is sunny and 75 here, and I'm coming in from Texas, which is still like 90s and still summerish. How's the weather over where you're at, Deerambo?
I'm in the 70s.
So you got it pretty good too.
Yeah.
What else?
Probably snow by the end of the week.
Snow?
Oh yeah, dude. We're in the Rockies, the very southern tip of the Rockies, so probably snow by the end of the month for sure.
Well,
I guess it is November. It doesn't feel like it here.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry. So what other games are you playing or looking at right now?
Not much, man. I'm still playing Diablo 4 with my wife. We're doing the split screen together on the big screen, just playing so when I have downtime, I'll do that with her. But as far as
this year's the new season for that?
Yeah. So so we have to do that again. But yeah, as far as like my free time, I'm just sticking to Hive. This bull run, man, I've put all my eggs into one basket. I'm going to see how that one goes. You know what I mean? I'm going to believe in Hive. And Bitcoin, right? My thing is Bitcoin and Hive. I've never been a fan of Ethereum. Has anything changed on the gas fees? Not a fan of those. Yeah. If your NFT skyrocket again, are you still going to be able to pull them out this time around? So I'm still not a fan of Ethereum, man. So I've just been focusing on Hive, man. I really love Hive and what it's done with all the little like small projects on it. I got into Mutera because they started a mining program, so I've been doing that. Just pretty much that, and focusing on Genesis League. That's like really the only one. I buy cards here and there. Yeah. There's a couple coaches that are definitely stronger than others, and you can just tell that. So I've been picking them up, and just that, man. Not focusing on too much. And like I said, the only game really outside is Diablo 4 right now.
So let's go back to Genesis League, because I've been out of the loop for a little while. I've played the beta a couple times, and I'll even jump in and do a random match here and there. But can you give us any insights, since you've been playing and since you're one of the top players, it seems, recently, on who some of these top coaches are?
Well, the broken coach right now is Gene Pool. And it's only because there's no...
That's so ironic. Okay.
Yeah, right. So, and it's only because stamina is not a thing yet. So if you're playing a one-game, one-of series, which everything is right now, it's just best to pick him as the coach. The nerfs and buffs don't translate as strong as his do in the second half, and he's just the best coach in a one-of series right now. But once stamina is integrated, it totally changes.
Who's the General Sloan?
Don't you hate on General Sloan?
There's not really one. It would probably be there's a couple that don't have their skills attributes yet, so they're just cards right now. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's Aguilar. It's what's his name? Nate. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nacho.
Yeah, Nacho.
All right.
So yeah, those cards just suck because they don't have any skills.
Gotcha.
So that is the fun part. That whole thing about like when they're saying, "Oh, we'd like an after sound card and a Dwayne card and everything like that." Like, oh, which of you guys would be the the General Sloan, the one that no one liked to play, and then one's like way overpowered.
Well, let's hope they do that. Dwayne's here too, so
Yeah.
it'd be fun to.
I wonder if you saw that when people were talking about, oh, we should have streamer cards.
Dwayne, I think I tagged you on Twitter. Somebody posted, and I think they name dropped me, you, and Bulldog. So I did a screenshot of that and tagged him and Bulldog. So hopefully you saw it. All right, Brandon's saying DEC die would be stable, say 1 million liquidity, but awarded fixed SPS. And the higher SPS token value, the higher the APR. Yeah, I mean, the DEC die pools could be really fun. Mm-hmm. That's correct. After sound virus is correct about impermanent loss. Yeah, very true. All right, Dwayne, speaking of Hive and leveraging that for SPL benefits, what if we buy Hive with the DAO and use that to upvote SPL content on 3Speak or Hive? Sustainable and ongoing average. Okay, actually, there is a place that you can give your HP to. Splinter Boost. Go check out Splinter Boost. I think that's the account. They pretty much upvote all or any and all Splinterlands related content on there, and so you can delegate your Hive, and then they pay you out. I think it's like anywhere from like a 7 to 10% APR on your delegated Hive, and that's on top of you receiving the 3% that I think Hive gives you just for staking your HP. But yeah, I had a lot. I was the content creators on Hive, so check that out, Dwayne, if you haven't seen that already. Gene Pool, I'll not say anything. Yeah, awkward.
I wonder if the DAO could do the same kind of thing and give out rewards to delegated HP for upvotes. They can give out like DEC from the DAO.
Oh, that would be interesting.
As like a reward for delegate. Like I was just thinking of how Holozing is doing it and like why they're doing it.
Yeah.
If they're doing that for some kind of similar thing where it's upvotes on social things that are done, then the DAO could do the same thing, but kind of give DEC or something like that as a reward for delegating HP.
And there's other projects like that. Woo is doing something with Zilly. I don't know if you've heard of Zilly or do anything with Zilly, but they're doing something similar. You go and knock out 5 social media engagements, get 500 Woo bucks or something like that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Actually, Woo is offering something similar to what Holozing is doing. Early on, you could delegate HP to the Woo account, and then they would give you Woo token, right? Yeah. So it's kind of what Holozing is doing now.
So what are they doing with that delegated HP?
I think they were upvoting content, and then they were collecting like essentially HP for that account. So they were upvoting content around the same, or like any Woo content essentially, and just trying to give out massive rewards there.
Yeah.
But it also essentially helps them run their like resource credits, right? Like manage their their Hive keychain like resources and stuff.
That's another part of it too. Dwayne saying Infidel Dragon Sump. Do you know what that means?
Summoner.
Oh, Infidel Dragon Summoner. Yeah. All right. Dwayne, if you could create I guess it's what would a Dragon Summoner do? Dragon Legendary, because it's not going to be 2 elements. Actually, sorry, Dwayne, I know you like Dragon, but if you could do any 2 elements, if you were one of the designers, what 2 elements would you do? We'll keep Dragon out of it for now. I'm just curious if we can get an insight into Dwayne's mindset for his 2 favorite splinters.
It would have to be something like the longer the match goes, the better your team gets. So the time.
So it's like pay time and attention to your
time and attention to your. So like if the game goes on for 6 rounds, your team gets a little better somehow, and like 8 rounds, your team gets a little better.
Dude, I already know. For Dwayne's legendary summoner, the ability is going to be a new one called Immunity to Fatigue Rounds.
Nice, yeah.
So it's just like stay alive as long as possible and watch the other team die of fatigue.
Yeah, I like it.
It's fun stuff, man. All right, so we covered a lot of GLS stuff. Is there anything else going on there that you're excited about?
No, not really, man. Off the bat, not really. Just Aggie coming in, seeing what he brings to the table. Is he going to change anything big or small? What exactly is he going to do? Not really. And then just to see how they do stuff without marketing, right? I think if anyone is interested from Splinterlands to keep an eye on GLX if you don't have anything staked, to see how they handle their marketing without a marketing team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Within the next couple of months, they have to tackle that problem in a real life scenario. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Well, once again, it's just like because I know a lot of the team there too. I know they're all working to get it, but from like just a player standpoint, I just don't care until the game's here. You know what I mean? And that's probably the not the best attitude to have, because what's funny is, didn't I talk to you recently? I'm like, I think I want to make a bet and buy a ton of GLX. And had I done that, I would have made it 2x.
Doubled it.
I would have made it 2x today.
Could have been telling Darkest Night about his he's made his BTC games.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, look at my GLX games.
Yeah, man, you should have gone all in on GLX. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, show me something, man. Somewhere to the Splinterlands side. Show me the game. I like the alpha or beta version of the gameplay, but I can understand how it's going to get super boring without all of the stuff that they have planned. For example, like skills, items, or gear and all that, which I think could make it actually a lot of fun. So
yeah,
have they said anything more about nodes with like the time frame for that? Because I know that was the intention, that GLX was going to have nodes running before Splinterlands.
Off the top of my head, yeah, I can't think of anything, Virus. Sorry, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. Yeah, they wanted to have them functioning, but as an owner, I think they haven't released anything. But yeah, they did. You're right. Chicklet wanted to do nodes before anything, and I haven't seen anything on that front yet.
Because it's going to be like a proof of concept of once that was up and running, that then they take that over to Splinterlands for those nodes. So
yeah, so that's why within the next 3 to 6 months, you should see a lot of activity over at Genesis League.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up. I need to get my head back into it and check it out.
have you been holding on to any of your GLX, or did you sell a lot of it?
I've got, I think, 25K staked. I think I've got 100. I still haven't opened my packs yet. I've got 100 packs.
Okay. Oh, you got a good amount there. I think I have like 4 packs, but I stopped selling my GLX a while back, so I think I've got like 70 or so staked. Which
I saw. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, which I just recently found out is not enough, right? Because if I want to play at the highest levels and have at least just one team, like it's enough if I want to be like a mid-tier player. But part of me, like similar to what we were talking about earlier, if this is the lowest that GLX is going to be, again, it's not financial advice, and I know I'm going to embarrass myself because we'll clip this in 3 months. But if this is the lowest that GLX is going to be, or around the lowest, then now would be the time to try and kind of invest for the future of the game.
Yeah, and I was just going to say that I was selling all my node rewards till I sold to 10,000. I kept 10,000 GLX, and everything above that I was selling.
Gotcha.
And,
all right. So are you trying to get more GLX now?
Yeah, and now I have to buy in hopefully at this price. Yeah. Well, but now I know the numbers at least, right? I didn't know the numbers until last week. So,
Well, is that a lot or a little?
No, it's just I've only got 25K, but I didn't have the same amount of SPS as you were getting rewards on.
Yeah, I was getting a good amount from the airdrop. And the things I like back when it was like 30 cents and people were just going crazy. That's when I was selling. That's like the one smart play that I've made in the ecosystem, was like selling all that GLX when people were going crazy for it, selling it all the way down. And then after we got below 10 cents, I was like, it's not going to go that much lower.
Was that you that made the first sale?
Yes, I did make the first sale as soon as it was bridged. I don't know if that's able to be. I should make an NFT of that.
The first sale, yeah.
First GLX sale. All right, Dwayne is saying life and death, angels and demons, imaginary or imagery art, immunity to fatigue. I love that. How about encouragement or hopium? We love you, Dave. +1 boost to allies. Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. I mean, I really hope that they do something fun like that for content creators or team members in the future, because I believe all the gladiator cards are based on team members. So
well, if Bulldog gets his, he's in that running in that leaderboard. So if he gets his, I know he's wanting to model it on Darth Squirrel, but if it, I wonder what kind of stats that he would want for Bulldog to have.
What would a Darth Squirrel do It's got to be Earth related, right?
Yeah, it's got to be Earth. I think they've kind of said that it has to be related to the element now.
Well, if he wants to make sure that he can get like something squirrel related in life.
Oh yeah, that's right. The dual. I forgot about the dual. Element summoners too. If he gets or if he just has the choices of what what it does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dice 12. All right. See you later, Dice. The ladies are putting you to work. Oh, hey, man. You do what you got to do. All right. So let's take this back to Splinterlands now, and specifically Rebellion. You haven't bought any packs. I think you said you're kind of holding off, waiting to see what they're planning for, or you're waiting to see them release something. Have you thought through like the implications of the new summoner tactics? Is that something that excites you about like the
Not at all.
Oh, I'm not even going to finish the question. Go ahead.
Yeah, not at all, man. Like I really have to see something at this point when it comes to Splinterlands. You know what I mean? Because it's just too much, man. Your emotions get too involved, and you're going to get let down, probably. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
No, okay. I get that, but I'm just talking about. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't put much time into Splinterlands, man. Just to be honest, it's just it's been too much of a disappointment. Like honestly, like straight up, I love it. I own 2 nodes. I try to play as much as I can, but it's just.
Wait, hold on. Are you familiar with the tactics though, and what they're gonna do?
Yeah. I saw the white paper, or whatever the peaked, whatever it was. Yeah, I read it, and it's gonna be cool. Yeah, it's gonna be great, man. But still, we don't know how it's gonna be implemented exactly. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't believe that what you read right now is what we're gonna find in the game. It's never been like that. It's hard to believe, So
yeah. I love it.
So not until I see it will I get hyped at this point. That's I've been burned too many times. So not until I see it will I get the hype train.
Hey man, that's totally fair. We were joking about salt earlier.
Yeah.
It's like no more salt. No, we it's okay.
You had land too, didn't you?
Yeah, and I'm still just watching, but we don't even have grain yet. So
yeah,
it's just that, So I'm still here. I'm part of the community. I love it, but I can't put my main focus on it right now because it's too disappointing for me. It's too heartbreaking. You know what I mean? And I have a lot of faith. I love the changes, right? Like I always knew that Aggie would step away from this and go and take over Genesis League. I always saw that from the beginning as happening, right? So now seeing Matt come in, because
why did you think that?
Because this is their project. I've always seen this as their project, right? Splinterlands is Aggie's and Matt's. I always saw Genesis League as their new next project. I always just saw him taking it over. Like even if you saw Chiclet's behavior, she never really deferred to herself as the leader. She always would say Aggie and Matt, Aggie and Matt. You know what I mean? So I knew it would come. And then especially when Matt or Aggie started talking about Invenium.
Yeah.
Like, and another thing that people in this community never really saw or never understood that I thought I saw was Splinterlands always had this marketing problem, right? Everyone else is launching themselves as like Decentraland or the Sandbox or this or that. And we're Splinterlands. We're a card game, right? We can't call ourselves this ecosystem, right? So that's why I think Aggie went and created Invenium. They're going to do the Genesis League projects on that platform. And I think part of this community of Splinterlands has to get around this concept that Splinterlands for the future will only consist of the card game, land, and Soulkeep. That will be Splinterlands in its entirety, I think, for the next bull run, from here until the next bull run, right? So what is that, and I think Matt will be in control of the project. I don't think they'll go and get more team members right now. And if they do, they better only be devs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they hire anybody at this point for Splinterlands, it better only be developers. And but that's where I'm at with them. I always saw Aggie moving over. I don't even think this was contentious. I think it was just something that they saw as a good time to do it with the Genesis League project rolling out here soon. So yeah, I don't think it was issues. Like a lot of people thought it was like contentious, like there was, issues amongst them and they're fighting. And no, I don't think so. I thought this was planned from the get-go. And if you also see it, it falls around with the last quarter, of financial. Like I think this was a lot more planned than people think it is.
Gotcha. No, fair enough. As Alex says, tell it, Deerambo. See you later, Dwayne.
And then
man.
just real quick in relation or in regards to Clayboyne. I always thought too, why didn't we ever have like a bill of or like a code of conduct for the DAO? Like, why didn't we ever have some like guidelines and rules that were just established that, you know, because there's a lot of stuff like, hey, can't we do this? Can't we do that? Like, why wasn't that ever established? And I know there is. Like, you know, you can go see what the DAOs is, read what it's in charge of and all this. But like, there should have been like some code of conduct or some type of like amendments rolled out to the DAO that I feel like we should have voted on as a community and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. And that way you can create smart contracts to knock off like half of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as far as like what we're doing with the DAO funds and like stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is decentralization is a spectrum, right? So when it comes to the DAO, like what point that you brought up the other day or just yesterday, I think was like, how did the DAO end up with all these funds? You know, all this BNB and Ethereum. Like, if the white paper listed that the DAO was going to exist and it was going to be given 400 million SPS over this time, how did we get all these stable coins? How did we get all this Ethereum and BNB? So somebody was making unilateral decisions for the DAO before the DAO was created, or before the DAO essentially was like opened up to the community, right? And governance, which only came into being, was it a year ago, right? When we started getting like the pre-proposals. So, and SPS, the DAO, all that stuff has been in play for more than 2 years. July of 2021 is when SPS launched. So, you know, people were making decisions for it. I think we're going to slowly move towards more decentralized governance. But to your point, Deerambo, we don't have that code of conduct yet. We don't have, you know, whatever it is, Bill of Rights, or if that's where you were going with.
Yeah, I don't know what the rights are. Yeah, amendments, or like so we can amend it later, or. But yeah, it's something like that, right? Just a code of conduct that set up rules and some parameters and shit like that. That's all I thought.
Well, hopefully that's something that we can get more towards now. If, you know, Clayboyne ends up, if the Clayboyne proposal ends up passing, maybe that's something that we talked to him about. Like, hey, like people need to understand the DAO and its function, and maybe also understand like where it is currently versus where it's going in terms of like helping to decentralize. Or work towards more of the decentralized end of the spectrum, right?
So, and even having that on like a site to give, you know, if someone's new to the game and they hear there's a DAO, they have no clue what it is, and there's nothing you can go and read that's going to tell you exactly what it is. So I think, you know, if there was some kind of a site that had information, kind of including that, you know, the Bill of Rights, then, you know, some new player can come and see like what it's about and how they're kind of can earn partial ownership in that DAO by earning SPS and holding on to it.
Yeah, for sure. Cool, man. Well, we're coming up on an hour.
Yeah, sorry to be a bummer on your Rebellion talk. Sorry to be a bummer on your Rebellion talk.
No. It's all good. Like here, you know what? We're balancing.
But I've always been a card buyer, so I've never been a pack buyer to begin with, right? I'll see the cards that I like and buy them. I will definitely buy the cards that I like from Rebellion. Just the hype. I'm not on the hype train.
No, well, here's the thing. Like, you know, you don't got to apologize for that. I think we're balancing a lot of like hopium and salt. I think as a community right now, or even just here. Right? I was, you know, because Virus is obviously. I mean, Virus and I should say, are still like really excited about where things are going. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not buying anything. He's trying to be the biggest landlord in the game still, right? And he wants to be the top player for Rebellion. But you know, Darkest Night is kind of the same boat as you, where it's like, show me something, right? Before I do anything else in this game, show me something, right? And it's not just him. I think he's said that publicly too, right, on his stream, I heard. And it's not an uncommon feeling. And I think as long as you're doing it in a way where it's like, I don't think anybody's like disparaging the team, right? But it is holding accountability to say like, all right, we love what you've done so far, and we want to support you in the future. But you got to show us that you can deliver, right? So that's just what it comes down to.
Yeah. And if anyone's wondering, well, if you're so discouraged, why are you still here? I am still a big believer in the tokenomics of the game. Yeah. You know, last bull run, they wrote us off. They're like, those 2 coins games those are the worst. And a lot of people just went into the NFT games, right? And I don't know if it was you or I can't remember, but in a video you're like, yeah, I'm checking out all these new NFT games. But you said something along the lines that I was like, shit, After Sound, you're just looking for a pump and dump. Because you're like, I want to go in there, buy all the fresh NFTs and sell them. So I was like, oh, so people still see that like NFT gaming concept as like a pump and dump. I just want these fancy things and sell them for higher to the next guy. While we're developing this whole like tokenomic ecosystem of a marketplace, right? Like I think this is way more advanced than most games. And that's why I'm still here, because I believe in this tokenomics, the marketplace, and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, 99% of my content is still Splitlands related, right? Because I do believe that there is a lot of potential here. But it's funny, I was talking to BB Omega recently about Parallel, and I straight up told him, like, yes, it's I think you can make a ton of money with Parallel, not because the game is set up in, like, the game is fun. I think it's fun enough and it's polished, but I don't know enough about the tokenomics. All I'm saying is that it is the shiny new thing. And if you're buying during a bear or at the very beginning of a bull, I tend to believe that it's going to be the stuff that is shiny new, doesn't have the emotional baggage, that can do well. So, you know, my biggest mistake, and I love Splitlands, but my biggest mistake in 2021 was not trading SPS. I bought it at 20 cents. I should have sold it at $1, right? True. But I treated it like Bitcoin, like it, because I was like, oh yeah, I'm buying Bitcoin for life. I think this point in time, my new lesson learned is I'm gonna trade some games, and if they do well enough during the next downturn, right after the next bull, then I'll find the ones that are worth sticking around and actually, you know, putting time and energy into. So, any final thoughts? I guess we can go ahead and wrap up here.
No, I'm good. Thanks for having me on. Like I said, I reached out to you earlier this week because I have no one else to talk to, my friend. Well, so I was like, let me reach out, talk some Splinterlands and Hive with you. And
well, I like you said, I think there's a lot to be excited about. It's just the time frame is really fuzzy, right? If we're looking at GLS, 3 to 6 months, yeah. I mean, 3 to 6 months is a long time, but yeah.
Well, and we're jaded because of previous rollouts, right? We're we can have all the timelines and the roadmaps we want, but they don't mean anything because we're not hitting those dates.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, hey, we got this coming down the line and be excited about it because we're just so jaded at this point.
Well, exactly. So, like you said 3 to 6 months for GLS. We are more than 6 months past the date that I thought it would be ready, right?
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be in March when the season began, and they let the entire season go by. And we're now 7 months past that, right? From March all the way to November, or almost November, I should say. So yeah, at this point, it's just like, it's exciting to say, yeah, the next 3 to 6 months could be cool, but I'm in the same boat as you for a lot of this stuff. Show me, man. Yeah. Just show me. Just release the stuff and go from there.
And and I hope that it's really that, and I really hope that they're being delayed and not that they're trying to time this market. You know what I mean? I really hope that they're being delayed and not trying to like be geniuses and guess the right time and release everything during a bull run, because I don't think that's a smart play either. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. As like interesting as that would be, like look at how.
Well, do you really think Coconut is delayed, the tower delay, or do you think the tower defense, or do you think that's ready to go? Do you think it's sitting on the sideline ready to be launched, or do you really think there was complications in releasing it?
Personally, I think there's probably a Web 2 version that's ready to go. I don't think that it's Web 3 integrated yet, because so if they gave them a game that was, if you look at what they've kind of developed before, they've developed Web 2 games. So that's kind of what I think they probably had built out, was a Web 2 game. And then their idea was probably just their information. I'm just kind of, this is like what my speculation is. But then it had to be handoff, and then they had to be integrated within Hive afterwards. So the team then has to take it and then add their stuff to it to get it to work. So my guess is that there's probably a complete Web 2 game, but that integration piece, whether they miss or underestimated what the work would be for it to actually get it integrated, or the way that it was done by Double Coconut is not easy for them to kind of detangle and kind of attach into Hive. It may have just, I think it was probably an underestimation of what it would take.
Okay, no, that's fair.
It's
That's
just my assumption, but
no, that's a fair assumption. But yeah, that's again, just shower thoughts. What do I think about? Like, hey,
Yeah.
I'll just say no comment on what he said.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard rumors left and right. I honestly don't know what the status is, but I think it's very clear to say that it doesn't seem anywhere near ready.
Yeah, and then the other tinfoil hat one was the timing for land, trying to delay it until Rebellion so that you get the double punch for DEC.
Oh, okay.
So if you basically do Rebellion and then you do land right afterwards, then land.
You're trying to guarantee that DEC go over peg and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I can't buy that one because like look at all the people that they've lost, including Darkest Night, because land hasn't come out, right? Yeah. There was just no. They could have. It doesn't matter what order it is. The 1-2 launched Rebellion, this month or whatever the case is, and had that 1-2 punch. Now they delayed land from September to November, and here we are talking about show me something, right? So it's whether it's this or GLX or Soul Keep, I don't know, man. Like, especially considering this, like we're the only ones talking about this stuff. Like it's most like we're the content creators and all the people like having these conversations publicly. If I was the team, I wouldn't want people to be talking about how everything's late all the time. So, I don't know. I can't imagine. You can put the tinfoil hat on, and Darkest Night even has it upstairs here, but I just don't feel like that is where they were going with it, or at least it wasn't the intention. Maybe it'll work out for them in the end, but I don't think it's what they wanted to do originally.
Gotcha. Because it was just also with like the timing of Aggie leaving. You know what I mean? Was he leaving at a time where he thought maybe everything was good to go? So just stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot of you could put your tinfoil hat on.
Yeah, well, it's so there was a great quote that I'm not even gonna go there. So
we'll bring this up later if you guys do the drunk stream.
Yeah. We'll have to get everybody shit faced here. All right, last question from Rooney207. What's everyone's plan with GLX post airdrop ending? LP or something else? It sounds like they're getting prepped for the LP, so I would say that's probably going to be one of the bigger catalysts for GLX price action. But we'll have to see how that plays out in relation to the game actually being launched.
That's a good question. So I should unstake mine.
Right. I was going to say I'm going to keep mine liquid just in case I have to stake them on my teams around the same time. You know what I mean?
I mean, the only thing you're losing out on that thing is in the gutter too. So I don't know what's going to happen. Although I will say, and we can close out here, I will say similar to you, Deerambo, I am excited about GLS long term. I don't even want to give it a time frame because as long as their runway is good, Aggie is like very, he's got like a much broader vision of what he wanted to do, which didn't necessarily fit in with Splinterlands. And so, it's good that Matt's kind of keeping that narrow focus on what made them successful in the first place. With GLS, it's like, I got all the tokens for free, and I didn't like throw down a bunch of money, so I can understand people who are more salty than I am. But I would say, this is the platform to let Aggie go crazy, right? Let him dream, let him bring all the partnerships. If he wants to make a UFC game and an NFL game and all this stuff, go for it, man. I got most of my GLX, or I got my GLX stuff for free. I got a couple packs. I'll participate. Like, let's shoot for the moon with this platform, and I'll keep all my stable stuff in Splinterlands, as stable as that can be.
I was just thinking what the UFC game would be. Like you buy someone's fist, you buy someone's someone's face, someone's legs, or something like that.
You buy wrestling skills.
Put your team together into one guy, and then they fight it out.
You can choose to train in wrestling or Muay Thai or kickboxing.
That sounds like a really fun game. Building like a Frankenstein MMA fighter.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, there you go. We were just at an arcade yesterday, and I was playing NFL Blitz. So for anybody that remembers NFL Blitz, I was playing it in the arcade, and first thought that it's just ridiculous arcade style game to like jump into, and so I don't know. Hopefully we can get more of that going on in the Splinterlands and Hive ecosystems. But Deerambo, this was fun as always. Dude,
Yeah,
reach
man.
out to me anytime, man. I don't always have to flip on the stream, but I figured since we're here, it would be good for us to chat and interact with the folks during the After Dark Fest. But yeah, any final
Appreciate
thoughts?
it. No, not really, man. Appreciate it. I think stay confident on these projects. Yeah, I think we're getting to the end of the tunnel. This is one of the longest bears. I think the bears will always be longer than the last one. In this like crypto cycle or whatever. We'll see how it goes. But I think at this moment, you've made it through the brunt of it, right? So hang in there. If you don't want to buy or put any more money into it, that's fair. But selling at this point kind of seems like sketchy, right? Like kind of hold on to it is my advice. I think you've made it through. If you want hopium, you've made it through the worst of times, and hang on in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll just wait until the banks start failing, but we won't end it there.
Yeah, COVID 2.0 comes out or something.
Yeah, 2.0 comes out. All right, man. Well, thanks for being on. Virus, thanks for hopping in here as well.
Yeah, it's good talking with you.
Stick around for a second, Deerambo. I'll go ahead and end the stream. But guys, we'll be back. I'm not sure what time yet because I think we're gonna go to downtown Atlanta, but maybe we'll do some mobile streaming from there, show you guys around the city and wherever we end up going. So keep an eye out for that, and then we'll maybe stream later tonight as Tails should be getting in. So that should be fun.
Nice.
We'll see if he chooses to do a face reveal. Although I would feel so inappropriate if he did a face reveal on my channel. So he'd have to stream on his own channel for that.
Or if he wants to do it that way, so that his community doesn't see it's just,
actually,
there's no video evidence.
There's no video evidence over there. Yeah. We could just call him something else. We'll see. All right, guys.
From the, see ya.